नमस्कार साथियों, आज इस विशेष पत्रकार वार्ता में मैं हम सब के नेता माननीय राहुल गांधी जी, देश के पूर्व वित्त मंत्री, पूर्व गृह मंत्री माननीय पी चिदम्बरम साहब, संगठन महासचिव श्री के.सी. वेणुगोपाल जी, आप सबका और सब पत्रकार मित्रों का, छायाकार बंधुओं का स्वागत करता हूं। एक बहुत ही अत्यंत गंभीर और महत्वपूर्ण विषय लेकर राहुल गांधी जी और हम सब आपके बीच में उपस्थित हैं। आज विशेष अनुरोध मेरा ये रहेगा कि हम वो विषय जिसे विशेष तौर से आपको और देश को संबोधित करने के लिए राहुल गांधी जी आए हैं, आज हम हमारे प्रश्न वहीं तक रिस्ट्रिक्टेड रखेंगे ताकि विषय की गंभीरता देश के सामने पहुंच सके। आदरणीय राहुल गांधी जी।
नमस्कार। नरेंद्र मोदी जी का एक और बीजेपी का एक नारा था, 70 साल में कुछ नहीं हुआ। और कल फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने जो भी 70 साल में इस देश की पूंजी बनी थी उसको बेचने का डिसीजन ले लिया है। मतलब प्रधानमंत्री ने सब कुछ बेच दिया। अब मैं ये हिंदुस्तान के युवाओं से कहना चाहता हूं, आपके हाथ से रोजगार छीना, कोरोना में आपकी मदद नहीं की, आपके जो किसान माता पिता हैं उनके लिए 3 स्पेशल कानून बनाए। और आज मैं यहां ये पढ़ना चाहता हूं कि प्रधानमंत्री अपने मित्रों को हिंदुस्तान का क्या क्या बेचकर दे रहे हैं। और इसको पढ़ने से आपको पता लग जाएगा, मुझे कहने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं होगी कि कौन सा एसेट किसको जा रहा है। और ये जो सिलेक्शन किया गया है ये किन लोगों के लिए किया गया है और किस प्रकार से उनको फ्री गिफ्ट दिया जा रहा है। तो शुरुआत करता हूं मैं रोडवेज। 1.6 लाख करोड़ रुपीस का गिफ्ट, 26,700 किलोमीटर नेशनल हाईवेज। रेलवेज जो इस देश की रीढ़ की हड्डी है, जिसके बिना भाइयों और बहनों देश के गरीब लोग एक शहर से दूसरे शहर में नहीं जा सकते। आज जो लोग ट्रेन में बैठे हैं, आप सुनिए, 1.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए रेलवेज, 400 स्टेशन, 150 ट्रेनें, रेलवे ट्रैक और वुडशेड। और जो हमारे रेलवेज के एम्प्लॉई हैं, आप भी बात समझ लीजिए, जब ये रेलवे से छीनकर किसी प्राइवेट एंटिटी को दिया जाएगा तो आप समझ लीजिए आपके रोजगार का क्या होने वाला है। मुझे समझाने की जरूरत नहीं है। उसके बाद स्पेशल गिफ्ट पावर ट्रांसमिशन, 42,300 सर्किट किलोमीटर्स ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन नेटवर्क। पावर जनरेशन, 6,000 megawatt hydro solar wind assets from NHPC, NTPC, NLC. नेशनल गैस पाइपलाइन, 8,000 किलोमीटर गेल की पाइपलाइन। किसको जा रहा है आप जानते हो। पेट्रोलियम पाइपलाइन, 4,000 किलोमीटर इंडियन ऑयल कॉरपोरेशन एंड HCL की पाइपलाइन। टेलीकॉम्स 2.86 लाख किलोमीटर ऑफ भारत नेट फाइबर ऑप्टिक नेटवर्क, BSNL एंड MTNL के टावर्स, वेयर हाउसिंग, किसान भाई आप इसको अच्छी तरह सुनिए, वेयर हाउसिंग 29,000 करोड़ रुपीस की वेयर हाउसिंग, 210 लाख मेट्रिक टन फूड स्टोरेज। भाइयों और बहनों, आपको मालूम होगा कि ये 2010 लाख मेट्रिक टन स्टोरेज किसको जारी है, कहने की जरूरत नहीं है। माइनिंग 160 कोल माइंस, 761 मिनरल ब्लॉक्स, एयरपोर्ट्स 21,000 लाख करोड़, 21,000 करोड़ सॉरी, 25 एयरपोर्ट्स किसको जा रहा है आपको मालूम। पोर्ट्स 13,000 करोड़, 31 प्रोजेक्ट्स, 9 पोर्ट्स किसको जा रहा है आपको मालूम। स्टेडियम 11,000 करोड़, 2 नेशनल स्टेडियम। अब देखिए ये जो एसेट्स हैं इनको बनाने में 70 साल लगे हैं और इनको बनाने में हिंदुस्तान की जनता ने लाखों करोड़ रुपए अपना पैसा डाला है। ये पूरा का पूरा 3-4 लोगों के हवाले किया जा रहा है। आपसे कहा जा रहा है भाइयों और बहनों, क्या नाम दिया इसका, क्या कहते हैं इसका? नहीं, वो एक लाइन थी, नेशनल मोनेटाइजेशन पाइपलाइन। ये आपका भविष्य है, ये जो आपका भविष्य है इसको बेचा जा रहा है, इन 3-4 उद्योगपतियों को गिफ्ट दी जा रही है। रियलिटी है। हम प्राइवेटाइजेशन के खिलाफ नहीं है, हमारा प्राइवेटाइजेशन का लॉजिक था। लॉजिक मैं आपको बता देता हूं। सबसे पहले जो स्ट्रेटेजिक इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उनको प्राइवेटाइज नहीं करा जाता था। इसमें से रेलवेज स्ट्रेटेजिक इंडस्ट्री हम मानते थे। स्ट्रेटेजिक क्योंकि ये हिंदुस्तान की रीढ़ की हड्डी है, स्ट्रेटेजिक क्योंकि ये लाखों करोड़ों लोगों को ट्रांसपोर्ट देती है, स्ट्रेटेजिक क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिलता है, इसलिए स्ट्रेटेजिक। दूसरी बात, जो इंडस्ट्रीज क्रॉनिकली लॉस मेकिंग होती थी उनको हम प्राइवेटाइज करते थे। जिन कंपनीज के पास मिनिमल मार्केट शेयर होता था उनको हम प्राइवेटाइज करते थे, और उस सेक्टर में हम प्राइवेटाइज करते थे जहां पे प्राइवेट सेक्टर की मोनोपोली की रिस्क हो। मतलब अगर सरकारी कंपनी मोनोपोली को रोक सके तो हम उसको प्राइवेटाइज नहीं कर सकते। अब यहां पे ये सारे के सारे प्राइवेटाइजेशन मोनोपोली बनाने के लिए करे जा रहे हैं, सारे के सारे। मैंने आपको नाम दिया है, पावर, टेलीकॉम्स, वेयरहाउसिंग, माइनिंग, एयरपोर्ट्स, पोर्ट्स, ये सब मोनोपोली बनाने के लिए किया जा रहा है। आप जानते हो पोर्ट्स किसके हाथ में है, एयरपोर्ट किसको मिल रहे हैं। तो हम कहते हैं प्राइवेटाइज कीजिए, मगर देश को नुकसान मत पहुंचाइए। देश को नुकसान कैसे होगा, और जो देश के युवा हैं आप इसको अच्छी तरह सुनिए। जैसे ही ये मोनोपोलीज बनती जाएंगी वैसे ही उतनी ही रेट से आपको रोजगार मिलना बंद हो जाएगा। आप स्कूल्स में हो, कॉलेजेस में हो, इस देश में जो छोटे बिजनेसेस होते हैं, मिडिल साइज बिजनेसेस होते हैं, जो आपको रोजगार देंगे कल, वो सब बंद हो जाएंगे, खत्म हो जाएंगे। 3-4 बिजनेसेस रहेंगे, इनको एम्प्लॉयमेंट देने की कोई जरूरत नहीं रहेगी और आपको रोजगार नहीं मिलेगा। मैंने कोरोना के बारे में बोला था, आप लोगों ने मजाक उड़ाया। ठीक है, मैं फिर से बोल रहा हूं, और हिंदुस्तान का युवा आप अच्छी तरह सुन लीजिए, जैसे ही ये होगा वैसे आपको रोजगार मिलने का चांस खत्म हो जाएगा। ये हिंदुस्तान की पूंजी बेची जा रही है, मगर ये आपके भविष्य पर आक्रमण है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी अपने 2-3 उद्योगपति मित्रों के साथ हिंदुस्तान के युवा पर आक्रमण कर रहे हैं। इसको आप अच्छी तरह समझिए। अब मैं अंग्रेजी में बोलता हूं। The Prime Minister and the BJP said that the Congress party has done nothing in 70 years. There is a list here of all the assets that the Congress party has helped build. These assets have been built using public money, thousands and thousands of crores of rupees over the last 70 years. Now the Prime Minister is in the process of selling the crown jewels of this country. I'm going to read what is being sold, and you can guess to which monopolist it is being sold. Frankly, this entire list is going to go to only 3 or 4 people. And these are the sectors that those 3 or 4 people are interested in. So, roads, 1.6 lakh crores, 26,700 kilometers of national highways. Railways, 1.5 lakh crores, 400 stations, 150 trains, railway tracks and woodsheds. Power transmission, 42,300 circuit kilometers of transmission network. Power generation, 40,000 crores, 6,000 megawatts of hydro, solar, wind assets. Natural gas pipeline, 25,000 crores, 8,000 kilometers of GAIL pipeline. Power pipeline, 4,000 kilometers, sorry, petrol pipeline, 4,000 kilometers, Indian Oil and HPCL pipelines. 22,000 crores. Telecom, 35,000 crores, 2.86 lakh kilometers of BharatNet fiber optics. Warehousing, 29,000 crores, 210 lakh metric tons of food storage. Who is this designed to hurt? This is designed to hurt our farmers. This is designed to make sure that one person gets a monopoly in the agricultural system of India. Mining, 20,000 crores, 160 coal mines. Airports, 21,000 crores, 25 airports. You know who the airports are going to, who they've been going to. These 25 will also go there. Ports, 13,000 crores, 31 projects, 9 ports. You know who that is going to go to. Stadiums, 11,000 crores, 2 national stadiums. So this is what is being given away, what is being gifted. Now, we had a privatization policy. We are not against privatization. We believe that there should be a strategy for privatization. What were the pillars of our strategy? First of all, no strategic asset will be sold. In that there is defense, in that there is railways. You can see that a strategic asset is being sold, right? We said only companies which are chronically loss-making, only companies which have minimal market share, and we will not sell companies where there is a risk of a monopolist. So where the public sector can help ensure that the industry is fair, free, and is not monopolized, we will not sell that sector. This entire privatization is designed to create monopolies. The whole idea behind this thing is to create monopolies for 3 or 4 people. And my young friends who are today searching for a job cannot find a job. You have to understand that the reason you cannot find a job is because the entire small and medium industries have been destroyed. And the reason they've been destroyed is because the Prime Minister insists on building 2 or 3 monopolies that own everything in this country. This is not just a gifting of India's assets. This is going to ensure that the young people in India will not be able to find employment in the future. I gave a warning during Corona. I said to you that Corona is going to be a disaster. I was ridiculed. I am saying to you again, this thing is going to ensure that our young people do not get jobs. This is going to ensure that our entire industrial structure is controlled by 2 or 3 people. And so as a youngster, it is your duty and my duty to fight this and to make people understand what the Prime Minister is doing. The Prime Minister is not working for the people of India. The Prime Minister is working for 2 or 3 monopolists. There are many other issues related to this, which we haven't gone into the details of, but we are concerned. There is the issue of what happens to reservations, for example. There is the issue of what happens to strategic industries. So we are going to study those things and we are going to come out with a viewpoint on those ideas. But the central idea here is that what this country has built over the last 70 years is being given away. Right? There is an excuse they have come up with that we are leasing this. Right? You are leasing, for example, you are leasing a gas pipeline. You are leasing it for a % of the value. How much money have the Indian people put into building that pipeline? Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of crores have been put into that to create that asset. Now you're going to take a little bit of rent from that asset and you're going to gift the asset to these people. And what's going to happen after 40 years? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen after 40 years? Now, the government clearly has mishandled the economy. The government clearly does not know what to do. They have basically destroyed what the UPA built. And now, as a last resort, they are selling everything that we had helped create. So to me, this is a huge tragedy, and it is something that every patriotic person, every nationalistic person should oppose. Now, if Chidambaramji would like to say something, please, and then you can ask questions.
I don't wish to add too much. I just wish to point out that this exercise has been designed without any ex-ante criteria. The government should have spelt out what its criteria were and what its goals were. You don't embark upon such a big exercise without first setting out the criteria and what your goals are. Number 2, you don't embark upon this exercise without consultation with stakeholders. Have the railway unions and employees been consulted? Have the port workers been consulted? Have those employed in warehouses been consulted? Have farmers been consulted? This is all hatched in secrecy in this wonderful organization called Niti Aayog. And the only thing that I could glean from the finance minister's press conferences and from the reports in your media is we are going to raise money. Can that be a goal by itself? We are going to raise 1.5 lakh crore a year for 4 years. Can that be a sole goal to virtually sell assets built over 70 years? The numbers which Rahulji read are numbers which they hope to get by way of rent. You may call it by whatever name, but it's effectively rent. These are not the numbers of the money that is put in there. If you count the money that was put in to build, say, 26,700 kilometers of national highway and go down the line, it runs into a humongous amount of money. In order to collect 1.5 lakh crore a year by way of rents, you call it by whatever name, by way of rent, they are indulging in what I would call a grand bargain sale, a grand closing down sale. There's virtually no public sector will be left after this exercise. And also remember that the maximum they hope to get is 1.5 lakh crore for 4 years. So they will get 6 lakh crore. And what did the finance minister say? This is co-terminus with a national infrastructure pipeline. The national infrastructure pipeline was announced first by the Prime Minister on August 15, 2019, 100 lakh crore. He announced it again on August 15, 2020, 110 lakh crore. And he announced again on August 15, 2021, 100 lakh crore. He perhaps thought that nobody will remember that he announced it the previous year and the previous year. So he's announced it 3 times. I'm not going to multiply 100 lakh by 3 lakh and say 300 lakh crore. And you're collecting 6 lakh crore in 4 years to build 100 lakh crore infrastructure. What arithmetic is this? The maximum you will collect in 4 years is 6 lakh crore, but your infrastructure pipeline is going to cost you 100 lakh crore. I know that there are many magicians in this country, but I can't imagine a greater magician than this government. I think this is a scandal. People must begin to discuss this, debate it. Unions, workers, student organizations, youth organizations, concerned citizens must begin to debate it. Obviously, we will ask for a debate in Parliament, but they may not give us a debate in Parliament. You must debate it in your newspapers, open fora, editorials. This must be debated. You can't spring a surprise upon the country without any kind of consultation. Have the opposition parties been consulted? Have the unions been consulted? Have the other stakeholders been consulted? I think this is a dangerous slide, and I wish the country wakes up to what these guys are up to.
Thank you, sir. We'll have questions. We'll begin with the agencies first. PTI.
monetize all these assets, which has happened in the past also. So there will be no ownership transfer of any of the companies. What do you have to do? Since this has happened in the past too.
Are you ready to give me a house for 40 years? I mean, what does that mean? If you're giving 26,700 kilometers of roads for 40 years, what does it mean? It means that the discussion of ownership will start after 40 years. For 40 years, it's theirs. Right? Now, you give, let's suppose you give 25 airports, right? And you are helping create a monopoly of one person owning all the airports. Fine, 40 years later we have a discussion, but by that time the game is over. Right? So it is not a question of whether it is being sold or it is being partially sold. It is a question of control. You are giving them full control for 40 years to do whatever they want.
You want to say that passively you are trying to give it?
Well, they don't have the courage to say we are giving it. So they have to say we are leasing it. But for all practical purposes, if you are giving 400 stations for 40 years, what are you doing? You're giving it away, right? And my main point is that, look, everybody knows who this is going to. There's no confusion. Everybody knows who this is going to.
Thank you, sir. Can we begin with the Dainik Jagran, Sanjay Mishra ji?
राहुल जी, ये एनडीए की सरकार का विदेश में पुराना अनुभव रहा है।
किसमें?
एनडीए सरकार का पहला विदेश मंत्रालय एनडीए ने 2001 में बनाया था और यूपीए की सरकार ने उसको बंद कर दिया मंत्रालय को। फिर बाद में 2016 में पीआईपीएन बनाया इस सरकार ने। इतना अनुभव होते हुए भी सरकार इस समय, ऐसे समय में जब अर्थव्यवस्था बहुत नीचे पे है, मंदी का दौर है, ऐसी क्या मजबूरी है कि जब स्टेट इतने पब्लिक सेक्टर का वैल्यूएशन नहीं मिल सकता है, उस दौर में इस तरह का बड़ा फैसला किया जाए?
ये आप स्टेटमेंट रख रहे हो या आप सवाल पूछ रहे हो?
आपसे सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ कि क्या मजबूरी है?
मगर मैं इसको स्टेटमेंट के तौर पे एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ। स्टेटमेंट ये है कि इसके दो लक्ष्य हैं। एक लक्ष्य है कि अपने जो 2-3-4 मित्र हैं उनको मोनोपोली कंट्रोल अलग अलग इंडस्ट्रीज में दो। दूसरा लक्ष्य है जो मिसमैनेजमेंट के कारण, चाहे वो कोविड मिसमैनेजमेंट हो, नोटबंदी हो, जीएसटी हो, सरकार के पास पैसे की जबरदस्त कमी है। तो दो लक्ष्य हैं। पर जैसे चिदम्बरम जी ने कहा, जो इससे मिलेगा वो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा है। तो मेन लक्ष्य इसका मोनोपोली क्रिएशन है।
Thank you, sir. Mohit Dubey from News Nation.
तो मेरा सवाल ये है कि सरकार ने ये कहा है कि जो संपत्तियों को हम खरीदेंगे, जो बेचेंगे, वो जनता उसकी खुद मालिक होगी, मालिक हम नहीं होंगे। एक बात तो ये कही, दूसरी बात
नहीं, ये कैसे?
ये निर्मला सीतारमण ने बात
बट ये लॉजिक क्या है? अगर आपने किसी को बेच दिया तो जनता मालिक कैसे रहेगी? आपने मुझे अपना घर बेच दिया और आप मालिक रह गए, कैसे हो सकता है?
क्या लगता है कि जनता को बरगलाने की कोशिश कर रहा है?
और क्या? अगर जनता के हाथ करना था तो बेचने की क्या जरूरत? जनता के हाथ में तो है, पब्लिक सेक्टर है, उनके हाथ में है। और किसके हाथ में?
Supriya Bhardwaj.
Sir, we are talking about investment equality. Jobs का creation का employment rate is very high. GDP is also, we are seeing the construction has been made, manufacturing has been made. But there is China also, which you also tried to raise the issue in the Parliament Standing Committee, but you worked out of it, the discussion didn't take place. Now, India in last 2 decades have heavily invested in Afghanistan. What is going to be the take as far as the interest of India is concerned, and the China getting strategic?
I'm very interested in this topic, and I've been studying this topic about China, about Afghanistan, about these issues. I would very happily do a dedicated press conference for you on this subject, on India's strategic position, on the damage that has been caused to our position. I'll happily do it for you. I don't want to divert attention from this thing today. So today we'll discuss this, and Randeep can fix. I'm more than happy to have a press conference with you on details of what is going on.
Demonetization happened.
Sorry? Yeah.
Demonetization happened. You came up with the idea of NIAI, and now we are seeing this asset monetization. Economy is in a bad shape. How is this entire exercise going to hit the economy?
The broad, see, in our conception, in the UPA conception, there are different elements of our economic system. There is the formal sector and there is the informal sector. We were pretty clear that both these sectors have an important role to play. in the formal sector, we are not for the creation of monopolies. And as far as the informal sector is concerned, we are not for the assassination or the murder of the informal sector. The Prime Minister of India is for the elimination of the informal sector, the assassination of the informal sector, and the creation of monopolies in the formal sector. This is huge part of what is going on here. And when you see airports going to the same person, ports going to the same person, everything going to 2 or 3 or 4 people, you are seeing the development of monopolies. The creation of monopolies in this country is extremely dangerous for this country. We have dealt earlier with a monopoly in India. It used to be called the East India Company. Right? It enslaved this country. It was basically a monopoly. That is what is happening now. We are heading into enslavement. So that is something that has to be understood. Demonetization, GST, the way they designed it, is designed to do 2 things. Number one, it is designed to kill the informal sector, destroy the informal sector, because an informal sector person, if you do demonetization, he doesn't have the cash flow to save his business dies. You can go and ask any small person, small businessman, that if you give him a shock like demonetization, he can't survive. And GST as it is designed today is essentially a tax on small and medium businesses. It is targeted to hurt them by making them formalize themselves at tremendous cost. Whereas a large company has no problem. Large company can hire 5 or 10 accountants and say, we'll fill GST. But that individual, shopkeeper or mithai wala or person who's running a small shop, he doesn't have the infrastructure to get those accountants, so he just dies. So those 2 ideas were to destroy the informal sector. The 3 farm laws are to destroy the informal sector in agriculture and to ensure that monopolists can come into that sector. Mr. Modi believes that large monopolists can transform this country. He does not realize that when you create such large monopolies, you cannot give jobs to people. And when you cannot give jobs to people, it leads to social tension, social anger, and then social explosion. Right? So you will see a dramatic increase in violence. You will see a dramatic increase in anger. You will see millions of youngsters who simply cannot have a future, and they will look at the houses of these monopolists and they will wonder what went wrong with India. That's what is happening.
Thank you, sir. Ajit Jha.
Mr. Modi, please understand, Mr. Modi is an instrument. Mr. Modi is not the Prime Minister of India, he is an instrument. He is doing a particular job for these people.
Ajit Jha from ANI.
आपने कहा जनता, युवा और किसान तीनों से जुड़ी संपत्तियां सरकार बेच रही है। क्या सरकार विपक्ष का सुनती नहीं है, सुनना नहीं चाहती है, या मोनोपोली है, या सरकार के पास कोई और रास्ते नहीं है? सामने अफगानिस्तान और तालिबान का भी मुद्दा है, उस पर क्या कंसर्न आपका है? सरकार ने
मैंने अभी बोला कि तालिबान, चाइना, स्ट्रेटेजिक जो मामला है उस पर मैं सेपरेट प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस खुशी से कर लूँगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। इस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में मैं इस प्राइवेटाइजेशन पे फोकस करना चाहता हूँ। और नाउ आई थिंक वी कैन डू द लास्ट 2 क्वेश्चन।
Okay. Sunil from NDTV.
I just want to bring to your notice 2 issues. One is about the fact that Nirmala Sitharaman said that these are brown industries or languishing, industries which have not been utilized for the last.
One question. You think 26,700 kilometers of national highway is languishing in this country? Where? There's not a single national highway that's languishing. Go anywhere, it's full.
But if you know, Mr. Gadkari has been doing this for the last 5 years, if you are aware.
Yeah.
Doing it quite clear on his own. Having said that, they also cited yesterday, the bureaucrats, that it was your own government, the UPA government, which did the Leela Hotel and built the new Modi Park.
No.
Also did asset monetization of
But Leela Hotel, I told you the rules, right? Is Leela Hotel a strategic asset? Is Leela Hotel stopping monopolies in the hotel business? No. We have as Chidambaramji pointed out, we have a logic, right? The logic is non-strategic, non-monopolies, minimal market share. Does Leela Hotel have 90% market share in hotels? No, right? So coming to the languishing point, which is an important point you raised. Road sector is not languishing. Railway sector is not languishing. Power transmission sector is not languishing. Mining sector is not languishing. Telecom sector is not languishing. Warehousing is not languishing. So what is she talking about? Which sector here is languishing? Even stadiums are not languishing. Though, frankly, on stadiums, I mean, if they want to privatize the stadiums, they're welcome to privatize the stadiums. So also when you're asking these questions, there's going to be a little bit of observation on your part. You're asking me these sectors are languishing as a list. You know they're not languishing.
Anand from India
No,
Today.
but sorry. So now you're telling me that roads are not being utilized? That by giving it to a private person, the road will suddenly start getting utilized? It's getting utilized right now, right? You're telling me railway trains in India are not getting utilized? You're telling me power generation, natural gas pipelines not getting utilized? So,
Anand from India Today. Aaj Tak.
A large part of these assets which you listed are in the states which are ruled by the allies, Communist Party allies. What will be your advice to these allies vis-a-vis the NMP and also would we see
this is uninformed question. Because this is a central government decision.
All this is central government.
That's an unprepared question.
a joint opposition against this NMP? It's like you saw
Yeah, we do, and that's why we're having this press conference. And I'm sure all opposition parties will agree on this. I don't think there'll be any. I think any sane person in the opposition, even in the BJP, will agree with what we're saying.
last question. राहुल जी आपने रिजर्वेशन को लेकर कहा था और जॉब को लेकर प्लीज डू नॉट डिसरप्ट द प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस।
नहीं बोलिए
सर एक बहुत जरूरी सर
बोलिए।
जॉब को लेकर और रिजर्वेशन को लेकर कहा था सबसे ज्यादा एससी एसटी ओबीसी को नुकसान हो रहा है, माइनॉरिटी के भी लोग ओबीसी कैटेगरी में आते हैं, तो जॉब एक बड़ा मुद्दा है। दूसरा मुद्दा है कि जो आप प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे हैं, नॉट अ सिंगल चैनल गोइंग टू लाइव राइट नाउ, तो क्या मैसेज कन्वे करने के लिए आप लोग कोई मैसेज रैली करेंगे इस निजीकरण के खिलाफ?
Are you paying us a compliment? No, because it says if we are not going live, it means we are saying the truth. But हाँ, क्या कह रहे हैं आप रिजर्वेशन पे?
सर रिजर्वेशन खत्म हो जाएगा।
हाँ, तो मैं बताता हूँ आपको।
जो मैसेज है इसमें नौकरियां जाएंगी।
मैं बताता हूँ, देखिए इसमें इससे काफी नॉक ऑन इफेक्ट्स आएंगे। इस पे रिजर्वेशन का इफेक्ट होगा, इस पे जॉब लॉसेस का इफेक्ट होगा, इस पे अलग अलग रिपरकशंस आएंगे। उनको हम डिटेल में स्टडी करेंगे और हमने चिदम्बरम जी से अभी बात की है कि इनको कांग्रेस पार्टी डिटेल में स्टडी करे और फिर अपनी पोजीशन उन पे आपके सामने रखे। I'm being subtle these days. थोड़ी subtlety I'm getting into that.
किसानों के लिए 3 कानून बनाए जिसके खिलाफ में दिल्ली के बॉर्डर पे किसान आंदोलन कर रहे हैं, सरकार के नाक में दम कर रखा है, कानून को स्थगित करना पड़ा सरकार को। ये जो सरकार की पॉलिसी है, कांग्रेस पार्टी जैसा आप कह रहे हैं कि 70 सालों की पूंजी सरकार ने बेच दी, पीएम ने बेच दी, कांग्रेस पार्टी कैसे इस इशू को लेकर देश भर में जाएगी? आपका क्या रोल है इसके खिलाफ? और नारायण राणे को गिरफ्तार किया गया केंद्रीय मंत्री है सर, उस पर मैंने क्लियरली अपनी इस पे पोजीशन रखी है कि चाहे वो डिमोनेटाइजेशन हो, चाहे वो जीएसटी फ्लॉड जीएसटी हो, चाहे वो किसान के कानून हो, ये सब इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर, एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर, स्मॉल एंड मीडियम बिजनेसेस पर आक्रमण है और इसका लक्ष्य मोनोपोली क्रिएशन है। थैंक यू। Cartelization that is going to happen. It is the cartelization of industry.